You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us this Monday evening. I'm Ken Bufa. 4 people on a plane bound for Long Island have died in a crash in Virginia. Our Cecilia Dow tells us about the ongoing investigation.
4 people are dead, including an East Hampton toddler and her mom, after their plane crashed Sunday in Virginia. The father of real estate broker Adina Azarian confirmed her death and the death of her 2-year-old daughter, Aria, to Newsday. We caught up with one of her neighbors.
We're just so sad, so sad. It's very sweet. Always stop, say hello, and I'd pet the dog who'd come running, and it's just to watch her, like I said, from being pregnant to seeing the child to, she was a couple years old, and we're just devastated.
The little girl's nanny and the pilot were also killed. Authorities are trying to figure out why the MacArthur Airport-bound plane made it here from Tennessee, but then turned around over Long Island and headed back south.
The wreckage is highly fragmented and in very rural and mountainous terrain, and it'll be a very challenging accident site.
The plane flew into restricted airspace over D.C. Military jets raced to intercept it, causing a sonic boom. We spoke to an aviation expert about what could have gone wrong.
Hypoxia will occur if there's a depressurization or if there's some problem with the oxygen delivery system on this jet. When it's flying at 34,000, 35,000 feet, the cabin is pressurized just like you would experience if you were on an airliner, but then rapid depressurization would put you in the atmosphere equivalent, and we can't breathe at 35,000 feet.
The NTSB says a preliminary report is expected within 10 days. A final report could take up to 2 years.
This airplane was not required to have a black box or a cockpit voice recorder or flight data recorder. But we'll be looking at whether or not that equipment may have been installed.
You have to tell people every day that you love them. Yeah, we're really sad.
Cecilia Dowd for Newsday TV.
A farm worker learns his fate after admitting to killing his co-worker.
13 years state determinant incarceration, followed by 5 years post-release supervision.
Faustino Marquez Cruz was sentenced to 13 years in prison today. The 30-year-old pled guilty to manslaughter last month. Now, as Newsday has reported, Cruz strangled Carmelina Maria Velasquez Zhao in July of 2020 after prosecutors say the two got into a fight and she threatened to have him deported. And if you see something, say something. That's the call from the town of Huntington tonight after vandals damage Herxer Park.
It was damage to the bathrooms here in Herxer Park. I believe it was something to the effect of putting rocks into the toilets and or the stack vents for the toilets.
The town supervisor says while that bathroom was closed for extensive repairs, porta potties were brought in, but say vandals came back and knocked them over. They're reviewing surveillance video and believe a small group of teens may be responsible. And 9 armed teenagers snuck into a Nassau school with plans to attack a student. Now the district and the student who came in contact with the intruders are still dealing with the aftermath. Sherry Einhorn has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
Emotionally, it's totally devastating.
A Great Neck father is demanding his school district stop using his 16-year-old son as a scapegoat for a major security breach at one of its high schools.
That's the biggest act of injustice they committed because they knew that he didn't do anything wrong.
According to this email from the district to the community, 9 trespassers who weren't students got into Great Neck South High School on Friday, December 16, 2022, in an attempt to threaten a student. But what the community wasn't told at the time was that the trespassers were armed with a taser, pepper spray, and a knife. The district claimed this 16-year-old, who we're not naming, was involved and suspended him for the rest of the year. However, the state education commissioner intervened and he went back to school after 4 months.
Do you think you did anything wrong?
No, I don't think so.
The student says the trespassers threatened him.
Before I even heard anything, they just said, if you tell anybody, a teacher, a student, anybody at all, about what we're going to be discussing at this table, we will hurt you.
The teen says the group demanded he take them to the locker room, which he admits he did because he was paralyzed with fear. There was a hearing on January 3rd. The school district had an attorney. The Rodriguez family did not. The proceeding was also conducted in English, which is not the native language of the student's father, and there was no interpreter. During the hearing, the student said, "I didn't go on my own will."
Terrified. Absolutely terrified.
In the end, the hearing officer found the student was not credible, saying he engaged in conduct that was disorderly, disruptive, and a danger to the safety, morals, health, and welfare of others in violation of the Code of Conduct.
I think the student was railroaded.
David Bloomfield is a professor of education, leadership, law, and policy at Brooklyn College. He examined the documents involved in this case.
The security breach is worse because it put everybody in the school in danger. But to then effectively cover up and find a scapegoat is morally as well as legally abhorrent.
When people tell me he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, that's incorrect because the school is not the wrong place for him to be. He was in the right place. It's just we had the wrong people guarding the school.
The family and their attorney want the teen's record cleared.
That the punishment, even if he was determined to have done something wrong, and we ignore the threats that he received, which caused him to do what he did, was completely excessive and beyond any kind of a reasonable standard.
District administrators refused to sit down with Newsday for an on-camera interview. According to the statement issued instead, they said the district has reviewed and evaluated safety procedures and implemented additional security measures, that appropriate action was taken, and the security guard working on site the day of the breach was immediately removed. Here's what we don't know and the district isn't telling us. Why was the community not notified that the trespassers were armed and inside the building for several hours in the middle of a school day? Who let the trespassers into the building in the first place? And were any other students disciplined? And if so, how? As for the teen,
I just want to be a normal kid again. I want to feel like I belong there, not like some outcast.
For NewsdayTV, I'm Shari Einhorn.
Now for more on this investigation, go to Newsday.com and click Get More for the NewsdayTV video box. And it looks like a nurses' strike may have been averted in Suffolk. Union officials say they have reached a proposed agreement with St. Charles Hospital. The deal includes a nearly 21% pay increase over the course of a 3-year contract. It also throws in improved benefits, more holidays, and better enforcement of staffing ratios. As Newsday has reported, the nurses had been without a contract since the end of March and on Friday voted to walk off the job in 10 days. And the CDC is warning that tick-borne diseases are rising across the Northeast. Now, in an effort to fight back, Senator Charles Schumer announced $130 million in federal funding. A portion of the money will go to vaccine development, research, education, and monitoring. And 79 years ago tomorrow, U.S. troops and their allies stormed the beaches of Normandy, France. And to mark the anniversary here on the island, a wreath will be placed on the bow ramp of a D-Day landing craft at the Museum of American Armor in Old Bethpage. Now, to help preserve the history of World War II, the museum is launching a D-Day essay challenge open to all Long Island College students. The winner will win a trip to Normandy for the 80th anniversary D-Day celebration in 2024. And now for your business brief here at Newsday. Apple unveiled its long-rumored VR goggles today. The over-the-face AR and VR headset dubbed Apple Vision Pro allows users to utilize real-world space to engage with digital apps, watch movies, or use productivity tools. Now, Apple plans to release the device early next year with a price tag of, get this, $3,500. All right, while you digest that, let's take a look at your Long Island weather. You can see it's going to be a decently mild night, mostly cloudy skies, and tomorrow we will have some showers. So let's take a closer look at tomorrow, and you can see showers around midday, if not right around school time, and then mostly sunny otherwise, with temperatures in about mid-70s.
Watch Newsday TV on the big screen. Use the remote to activate Siri, Alexa, Roku, or the Google Assistant on your streaming device. Say, install Newsday. Newsday TV, covering Long Island like no one else can. High School Sports is sponsored by PC Richard & Son.
A local basketball league is winning more than just games. Carissa Kelman has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
Moments like these are what makes Unified Sports an incredible experience for all students.
At the end of the day, it's not about winning, it's about having fun.
This is Unified Basketball, a sports program open to students of all abilities with the goal of increasing awareness and acceptance of students with disabilities.
Kids that normally wouldn't have an opportunity to participate in a sport now have an opportunity to be involved and do it in a meaningful way.
Nassau Unified Basketball has doubled in size since its inception 7 years ago, and the coaches say these games bring out more fans than some winter basketball games.
Kids in the hallways are congratulating our kids, and our kids love it. They feed off it. They're more confident. It's just such a nice thing to see.
Nassau has 4 ability-based divisions of 13 teams who average more than 50 points per game. Students without disabilities or helpers are there to pass the ball to the athletes. And here at the county championships, plaques and medals are given to all teams.
Are you going to wear that uniform and that medal to school tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm probably going to wear that. Yeah.
You might walk around with the plaque too, huh?
Yeah. It's just been everything, and seeing the smiles on their faces, you won't see that anywhere else. And then, what do we say on 3? Wildcats on 3, right? Wildcats!
At Jericho High School, Carissa Kelman, Newsday TV.
And you gotta love those smiles. Now for more on Unified Basketball, go to Newsday.com and click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. Pride celebrations are sweeping across the island this month, and there were several colorful events this weekend. Our Steve Langford reports.
Even on a cool day in early June, it doesn't take a weather forecaster to call for a 100% chance of rainbows across Long Island. But to the surprise and joy of many, a first ever Pride Parade here in Patchogue.
Never saw this in Patchogue. This is amazing. This just shows how much people came out to support love, not hate.
Even the parade's co-chair struggles to express his emotions about this premiere.
Just being able to see this lineup, it's I get choked up. It's truly amazing.
Long Island isn't known for its gay scenes, you know, but these pride parades that are popping up all over, like this one, Babylon, Freeport, even in Queens, the turnout are amazing, and not just from queer people, from people who support queer people.
The Morales family just happened to be in the neighborhood.
We were eating somewhere here, and then my mom said if we should just stop and watch the parade.
There are many pride events across Long Island in upcoming weeks. Most visually, perhaps, what they call the Fire Island Invasion on the 4th of July.
The Landing at the Pines on Fire Island, an annual recreation that celebrates the first excursion that took place here in 1976. And in Babylon, the first village on Long Island to put on a pride parade, the tradition continues strong up Deer Park Avenue. Long Island proud. Steve Langford for Newsday TV.
And it looks like a lot of fun. Now for more Pride celebrations on Long Island, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Get more of the stories you've seen on Newsday TV at Newsday.com. Plus breaking news, investigations, things to do, restaurants, and other Long Island news you can't get anywhere else. At Newsday.com, covering Long Island like no one else can.
You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Ken Buffa. Thanks for joining us. We leave you now with a look at your 7-day forecast.